Race training season is well underway, or maybe nearing the end for some of us. But here's the thing, week after week of long runs, recovery jogs, and daily miles takes a toll. And way too many runners are still using the same pair of shoes for every single run, whether those are daily runs, tempo sessions, recovery miles, or long runs. And I get it. I've been there too. I used to think it was saving me money, but it was really costing me somewhere else, on my body. And I know this because I once tried to run a half marathon in a cheaper pair of shoes I picked up thinking they could handle everything from daily miles, long runs, and race day. Not only did they fall short, I'd paid for it in soreness and a sluggish recovery. If you're looking for a shoe that can soak up impact and give your legs a break, especially during a long marathon, half marathon training block, well, in this review, I want to introduce you to a shoe I think you'll want to consider to help you keep up your goals and your training schedule without jeopardizing long-term negative effects of using the same shoe day in and day out. It's time to run in the Hoka Bondi 9. Hey guys, welcome back to the Time to Run channel. My name is Joel. I've outlined the chapters so you can jump straight to what you care about, whether that's the sizing, the midsole, or the outsole wear after these 85 miles. But if you stick around for the whole video, you'll get a full breakdown, plus a final verdict at the end, whether I'm keeping these in the rotation or not. I've put in the research, testing, and miles, so you don't have to do it all on your own. That's one of the core values of this channel. Let's get you the info you came for, but first, just 30 seconds of transparency. These shoes were sent to me for free for the purpose of review. All opinions are my own. No one gets to preview or influence what I have to say, not the brand, not anyone. I'm not sponsored by Hoka or any company in this video. And if you want to support the channel, I've included Amazon affiliate links below. It costs nothing extra to you and helps me keep making these reviews. Thanks so much. From the moment you see them, the Hoka Bondi 9 makes a big impression. Emphasis on big. They are, without a doubt, a chunky boy shoe, speaking as one myself, but beyond their substantial build, it's the visual story that they tell that truly stands out. The entire design, from the sweeping lines of the color palette, evokes a look of a wave, mirroring the deep, rich cerulean of a wave's towering face. Meanwhile, the orange and yellow accents resemble sunsets on the grassy knoll, and the white midsole conveys the white water's turbulent foam after the break of a wave near Tower Rip. And stick with me, right after I cover the upper, I'll drop a big spoiler about whether these are staying in my rotation or not. The upper is made of a stretchy mesh that's breathable and soft. Breathable, especially in hot weather we've been getting lately. I didn't notice any overheating from my feet. I also didn't have any issues with it catching on toes or pinching in weird areas. Very comfortable upper overall. There are small reflective details, one most notably up here on the lateral part of the shoe, and here on the blue portion of this heel cup. You can see the Hoka logo on the lateral part of the shoe as well, and again the bird at the base of the lacing channel right below the tongue here. And that wraps up the overlays. And as promised, yes, I will be keeping these shoes in the rotation, but let's talk about why. Just as Bondi Beach offers a vast welcoming expanse for beachgoers, the Bondi 9 midsole delivers a maximal shock-absorbing cushion experience for tired feet, battling through a tough, high-mileage week with grueling tempo runs. This is precisely the shoe you'll crave for follow-up runs, easing you into those recovery kilometers on tired legs and sensitive feet. I don't think I could be any happier with this pair of max cushion shoes. Their comfort level is definitely pegged to the max, but it also doesn't leave me feeling like it's overly mushy or collapsing under my weight to make my work harder during my strides. It delivers enough rebound for my longer runs and easier sessions. This next part is for the nerds, the specs. For the midsole, this includes a 43mm stack in the heel with a 38mm stack in the forefoot with a 5mm drop. Lower, or rather flatter than other more familiar daily trainers like the Pegasus or the Ghost, which are usually around 10mm. Like I said, that's the stack for daily trainers, not max cushion running shoes like this. Most long run shoes have this kind of drop. Even a crossover shoe like the Asics Nova Blast has an 8mm drop, so not a negative by any stretch that this is more closer to a 5mm drop. Now I want to ask you a question. What's your go-to easy day shoe? Drop it in the comments. I love learning what's working for everyone. Now getting back to the midsole, Hoka's supercritical EVA midsole foam, aka CMEVA, makes this a plush and well-cushioned ride. It's probably one of the top 5 most max cushion shoes I've run in. And I want to emphasize that I've run in shoes with slightly more stack, yet this one delivers an experience that's exceptional all on its own. So much comfort, especially on sore feet and taxed muscles. And hey, if you're enjoying the review so far, go ahead and tap that like button. It really helps communicate to me how much you like the video, keeps me going making more. And of course, comfort also depends on getting the right fit. So let's next talk about sizing and how these shoes feel on foot day to day. I personally think the fit is perfect. I don't think these were too cramped for any of my runs, and quite the contrary, I feel like that these were the right amount of room in the toe box, not to mention the rest of the shoe. Zero complaints here. I'd pick your standard size. Mine is a US men's size 12, same size as I get for Nike, Brooks, Salomon, Asics, New Balance, you name it. I always size up a half size though with Adidas as a point of reference. Now let's talk about the name, Bondi. You might hear people say Bondi, but it's actually Bondi. The moment you pronounce it right, you're already closer to the understanding of the shoe. At least that's what I've begun to understand. And let's be honest, I've never surfed South Bondi, walked Tamarama, or curbed my craving for banana bread at Bennett Street Bakery. So in a world where I've never been to this infamous place, not yet anyway, it got me wondering, what's the messaging behind Hoka naming this shoe Bondi? What are they trying to communicate to us in a world where there's so many famous beaches to borrow names from? What is it about Bondi specifically that left such an impression and set itself apart to the point that Hoka wanted to name this shoe after it? What part of Bondi were they hoping to capture, to bottle? The place, the pace, or the mindset? That's what I've been trying to figure out over the last 85 miles. All right, back to the shoe itself. So this is a puffier tongue, but I think that's exactly what you'd expect on a shoe like this. It doesn't absorb sweat too much like a sponge, and it also isn't too thin that digs in the anterior tibial tendons. Now the lacing system, I do like these laces. They hold firm, but they have just the slightest amount of stretch for the materials to give you so much forgiveness if you happen to go a little crazy with cinching them down too tight. Next, let's talk about the weight. Despite the max cushioning, it doesn't feel overly heavy on foot, weighing in at 12.3 ounces or 349 grams for my US men's size 12. Great weight overall. Moving on to the heel area and the collar. Great materials that wrap around your ankle here. I got zero abrasion around the collar, and it sports a nice flared collar at the back. Now the heel cup is really stable. It's a nice balance of keeping the ankle secure enough while giving you the right amount of flex for your strides. Next we have the outsole, which is made of Hoka's Durabrasion rubber compound. If I had to describe it, well, it feels more like a hardened midsole foam to me. Now while this is technically a rubber compound, in truth, it's not what many think of when they think of rubber. And this tends to be the biggest controversy around the outsoles of Hoka shoes. This is not a new topic though. Hoka has intentionally, and I believe has made conscious trade-offs between slightly less durable rubber compounds for the sake of how comfortable the Bondi ride is. A harder rubber would reduce the maximal sensation you get with this current setup. All that being said, it handles really well on pavement and asphalt after and during rain. The strategically placed pads have helped reduce wear, but I'm already seeing signs of wear along the lateral part of the shoe, which is to be expected at my weight of 215 pounds. A pure muscle. Which doesn't do any favors regarding the wear testing on the outsole. TBD on how far these will take me. A follow-up review on that will likely happen around the 200-mile mark, so subscribe and like the video so you get more of this content in your feed. So how did it feel like running in these shoes? This has been my easy miles shoe for the last 85 miles, and I think the conundrum I experience whenever I'm doing easy miles is finding a shoe that gives equal emphasis to both comfort and springiness. Where with each mile I want to run in a shoe that doesn't make me feel like I'm struggling to maintain my paces due to an overly marshmallowy midsole, to the point where there's no bounce or energy return. On the flip side, I always want to find myself relaxed enough to enjoy the run as well. Depending on shoes, this can inhibit or assist, and I think personally, these assist. So who is this shoe made for? Well, it's no surprise a lot of runners use these shoes for recovery miles and long runs, but equally unsurprising are the vast demographics purchasing this shoe. And of course you're going to find these on the feet of those who love walking for exercise, those who are on their feet all day at work. If you're someone who is on the heavier side and you just want a shoe that will assist in relieving aches and pains, this shoe is a great choice. And last but certainly not least, if you're of a mature age, these would do well in providing a stable, comfortable experience on a daily basis for all your activities as well. To the point that if you don't mind the height, after all, this is a tall shoe. These are probably the most highly recommended shoes for seniors. In fact, if we only look at shoes in the same category, the only rivals this one has from Hoka itself would be the Skyward X with a whopping 48 millimeters, keeping in mind that that has a carbon fiber plate. So not a direct comparison. And let's remember that the Bondi, it comes equipped with 43 millimeters of stack in the heel. As I mentioned before, the Bondi, I feel like, has a more stable platform than that of the Skyward X. The lateral portions of that shoe seem to slant downward ever so slightly, but with the Bondi, I don't feel like this sensation happens at all. In fact, they feel quite supportive even to the edges of the lateral portion of the shoe. I like the Skyward X for its propulsive toe-off, for the carbon fiber plate, but it wasn't necessarily a favorite of mine when it came to the stability aspect. Something I have to emphasize, many have expressed their opinion regarding how stable it felt. What's your go-to max cushion shoe right now? Let me know in the comments. The Time to Run community thanks you. So I guess getting back to my original question, what was Hoka trying to bottle when they named the shoe the Bondi? I think it's all that laid-back vibe of the shoe, taking things easy. Yeah, you may have a destination in mind, but not being in a rush to get there, which isn't too dissimilar to the vibes of Huntington Beach, Laguna, or Kamaole. And the best news is, you don't even need to be walking Bondi, sipping on juice from Melonhead, or flat white from Harry's. Although that sounds pretty great. But if you can't get that, the Bondi shoe is hella chill. But until I'm able to make that insanely arduous, time-consuming flight to New South Wales, I'll just have to take Hoka's word for it and keep using the Bondi 9 for my recovery miles and long runs. The Bondi 9 is the recovery shoe that says, take your time and take care of your body while you're at it. So this wraps my review of the Hoka Bondi 9. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know by hitting the like button if you did. Please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, and if anyone asks you what your favorite running YouTube channel is, just tell them it's time to run. Let me know in the comments, should I take the Bondi 9 to 200 miles or try something totally new next? See you in the next video.